2001 Cardinals has constructed a team that finds itself on top of the National League Central. The Redbirds have used a foundation of pitching, hitting, and defense. Those three have built a 7-game win streak. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Pirates' 2001 season is imploding like Three Rivers Stadium as the Bucks find themselves with the worst record in the National League. Tonight, with the Pirates laboring, will the Cardinals be able to erect a road win streak as they begin their longest trip of the year in brand new PNC Park? Find out next on Fox Sports Net. It's been all about pitching as the Cardinals tonight try to make it 8 straight. Dustin Hermanson, the right-hander, is coming off 4 straight dominant starts. He's 3-1. He'll make the start tonight at brand new PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Close to 40,000 on hand, and this is game 1 of a 3-game set and game 1 of a 2-week-long road trip for the Cardinals. The Cardinals and Pirates tonight on Fox Sports Net. Alongside of Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you along here at PNC Park. We're going to show you some shots of this park throughout the game. It is magnificent. And the Cardinals, it'd be nice to be home the way that they were playing, but hey, we'll take a half game up in the Central and start this road trip.
Well, you got to start winning on the road. We're 2 games under 500 on the road, and what better place to start with a team that's really struggling, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And the Cardinals really are doing it in every kind of way, and it starts basically, as Mike Shannon said during the pregame show, and you echoed these thoughts with pitching.
Yeah, you get good starting pitching, everything falls in place. You can't have good starting pitching without good defense, and then you take the pressure off your offense. They're more relaxed, and they produce a lot.
Let's take a look at some of the shots here, as Matt Morris obviously has been dominant, and it starts with pitching, but they've also been getting the hitting and also the defense as well.
Well, it's just, you know, these guys are not good. They're going to put some plays, and then you see the offense with the timely hitting. The guys come through and do the job for you. They had the long ball, 16 of them in that 7-game homestand, and what great defense did we see.
Polanco made one of the most dramatic plays we've seen so far this season. Your thoughts on PNC Park? This is just a beautiful place, isn't it?
Well, it's beautiful. I wish we had a little better perspective. I thought we were down below a little bit further. You can see the dugouts. They're normally at plane level, and this is a big, expansive one. You see the Clemente Bridge where people are walking over, coming into the ballpark, and it actually looks like the bridge was an extension of the ballpark. But this is a beautiful facility with a great skyline, and it's just picturesque. Clemente
Bridge across the way. The Allegheny River is beyond the right field wall. Only one ball has been hit into that river, just a one bouncer into the river, so no balls on the fly into the river. May change tonight, hopefully with some of the left-handed bats in the lineup for the Cardinals. Let's turn to our pitching matchup tonight. It's brought to you by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. We'll start with Dustin Hermanson on the mound for St. Louis.
Well, he's 3-1, the ERA under 5, and he is 5-2 against these Pirates, and he could very easily have 5 victories. Omar Olivares, we remember him from early in the 90s, a dominant sinker ball. He was defeated by his former teammates last Thursday at Busch Stadium.
Hermanson and Olivares here tonight from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. We'll take a quick timeout. Big crowd on hand. They're talking about hockey here in Pittsburgh. We're doing the same in St. Louis, but we've got game 1. Cardinals and Pirates comes your way next. Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Budweiser. With the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer, this Bud's for you. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. For tires and complete auto service, all you need is Dobbs. And by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 30 years of freedom. 30 years, one mission, low fares, Southwest Airlines. Well, the Cardinals begin a 12-game, 13-day road trip tonight. And this is the beginning of a 3-game series against the Pirates. Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Vigna to lead things off, followed by Polanco, Edmonds, then Pujols hitting 4th. Drew, Bonilla, Langford, Matheny, and Hermanson will hit 9th. On the mound for the Pirates, Omar Olivares.
He has a power sinker. He's a veteran. He knows how to pitch, but he needs good defense. Not many strikeouts, a lot of ground balls, and we saw the Pirate defense very porous.
Fernando Vina leads things off and takes a strike from Omar Oliveras. 63 degrees as we begin play here. A very cool day in Pittsburgh. Rained throughout the morning and early afternoon. That subsided around 4:30. Vina trying to lay one down. It's quickly 0-2. Good look at our new Fox box, the top portion of our screen. The score, the inning, the out.
I'm already a big fan of the Fox box.
You are, huh?
Oh, yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. That just misses. A ball and 2 strikes now on the leadoff man, Vina, who had a fantastic homestand. 4 RBIs, including 3 on a bases-loaded triple in the second inning off a Kerry Wood on Sunday. Helped the Cardinals to the sweep. He slaps that foul.
And he had 8 RBIs in the last 4 games, so up that total to 14 on the year, and he's got a 5-game hitting streak.
Vina, Polanco, and Edmonds here in the first. Fouled it back. Stays 1 ball and 2 strikes.
How do you like our vantage point?
Well, Lanny Fratteri, who has been the voice of the Pirates for 26 seasons, when we were hosting them in St. Louis last week, said, "You won't believe how high you're going to be when you're doing the games in Pittsburgh." And I kind of like it. High drive into right, off the bat of Vina. Near the wall. Off the wall. Vina heading towards second, and he will go into third. A stand-up triple for Fernando Vina to start this game. Vanderwall went back, couldn't make the play, and Vina's at third and nobody out.
Vina tell you that in his mind, the most exciting play in baseball is a triple, and he leads the National League in that department. Pitch is up, a high sinker, and they'll go a long way. See the right field scoreboard, it's 21 feet high. This one just beyond the reach of Vanderwall. Plays in front of Vina, so he sees it. Once it got by Vanderwall, he knew he could go on to third base.
Vina had that big triple on Sunday, so back-to-back games for Fernando with triples, his 5th of the season, and now an RBI opportunity here for Placido Polanco. Hits it towards the right side, and it's 1-0 St. Louis, just like that. Polanco with the RBI, his 7th of the season as Vina scores the run. 1-0 Cardinals.
Boy, that's just good fundamental baseball.
Hits it to the right side with 1 out, and the Cardinals get on the board. Around the horn we go. Kevin Young gets the start defensively. It's brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Services. Young is at first. Pat Mears is at second. Ramirez at third. Enrique Wilson will get the start at short. In the outfield, Brian Giles is in left. Emil Brown in center. Vanderwall, as we mentioned before, is in right behind the plate. The All-Star Jason Kendall. Edmonds steps in, hitting .380 with 7 home runs and 26 RBIs. Cardinals have grabbed the early lead. It's 1-0. You are right. That is good baseball by Polanco to hit it to the right side. Just a perfect job of hitting.
Was it Roger Maris said he'd get about 25, 30 RBIs before the season would start. People said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, I'll just hit that many balls to the opposite side, score that runner from third, or sacrifice flies," and he figured he could get 25 to 30 RBIs without ever getting the hit.
What do you think of our vantage point up here?
I wish I was about 30 years younger.
That's why we have monitors about a foot away.
Yeah, but you got to look down here and you can't see the monitor. You know.
Yeah, we are in the top row, to say the least.
There is no patron that is sitting higher than us.
Nope.
Which is pretty good. Right up there, the top there is the press box. That is our view. And probably the only thing, the toughest thing for us is the fact that any fly ball, you kind of lose the perspective of how deep it goes. And then during the day, it seemed like you would lose it into the buildings across the river.
During batting practice,
yeah.
Really seemed that way. Here is Albert Pujols after the strikeout of Edmonds. There's 2 away, nobody on in a 1-0 game. It's our Hyundai Key matchup, and these two, Albert Pujols and J.D. Drew, have been hot as of late, and in particular during the 7-game win streak for the Redbirds.
Almost feeding off each other. I think they had 3 home runs in 3 games. You know, they had each of them hit a home run in the same game 3 times and 6 times on the season. But they were just feeding off each other.
Albert looks at his strike. 3-1. I was listening to an advanced scout talk about pitching to Albert Pujols before tonight's game, and he said, oh, it's going to be about a month and everybody's going to have him figured out. The fact that Pujols, all his home runs come on fastballs. Well, obviously he wasn't watching on Sunday on a sinker down and in, and he goes the opposite way with it. He has made the adjustments time and time again, Al.
Oh, they know it all, don't they, those advanced guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they always got to give themselves an out. Well, I knew how to pitch them, but the pitchers didn't execute the way I said to do it.
Pujols broke his bat and has a base hit into left. I thought that was barely going to get over the shortstop head from this perspective, and it carried all the way out into left and a one-hopper to Giles.
Well, very disciplined, controlled swing. Doesn't try and do too much. Got that ball out in front of him. And Albert Pujols now has a 3-game hitting streak, but boy, you know, 13, 9, he just keeps on adding them up.
Extends the inning to J.D. Drew. See if J.D. can become the first man on the fly to hit one in the Allegheny.
Well, that's the one thing that you've got to guard against. It's 320 down the right field line, and you don't want hitters to start looking and say, I want to be the first, or try to alter their swing. It is a 21-foot wall.
J.D. drives this one into right center. Vanderwall can't make the play. A one-hopper to him. J.D. will stop at first, and moving up on the play is Pujols all the way to third. So first and third, 2 down, and Bobby Bowe will step in. Of course, he spent a number of years here with the Pirates.
J.D., 5-game hitting streak. Now 9 for his last 17 with 3 home runs. And just a nice controlled swing. Pujols has the ball in front of him. There are 2 outs, so he's going to be off and running. And pick up your third base coach. Kendall will let him know about that. Boy, Kendall keeps a tight rein on not only Albert, but a lot of the Latin players, and they're all better for it.
Here is Bobby Bonilla. First and third, 2 down, and a 1-0 Redbird lead. Boy, this guy has been a nice pickup by Walt Jocketty. Bobby Bonilla.
Well, you know, Bobby's just always been a quality guy. I've known him a long time, and you know, he had some bad reports. Last 10 days he's been hot as a firecracker, and he's the kind of guy now that accepts that role as a part-time player, and he's great in the clubhouse.
Bonilla pops this one up. Left side. Giles is there. Camps under it and makes the play. So the Cardinals strand 2, but because of Vigna's triple, they grab the lead. It's 1-0 St. Louis. Well, the Cardinals banged out 3 hits in their half of the first, and they lead it by the score of 1-0. The RBI for Polanco, his 7th of the season to drive in Vigna. Let's turn to the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Pirates tonight. Jason Kendall to lead things off. Vanderwall will hit second. Ramirez, Giles, Young, Wilson, Brown, Mears, and Omar Olivares will hit 9th. On the mound for St. Louis, the right-hander Dustin Hermanson, who just keeps on getting better and better, Al.
Oh, he really does. He's a good competitor. You got to keep him under control. He's thrown 4 good starts. He's 5-2 against the Pirates, and he has allowed 10 home runs. That's one thing a little bit alarming. Last time he allowed 2 home runs, but both of them were solo shots, and that was all when he defeated the Pirates at home last week.
Well, the Cardinals have won 7 straight, a chance to make it 8. If you take away the opening series at Colorado, the staff ERA is just 3.58. It has been very, very good. And the way that this road trip starts up, you couldn't ask for a better rotation in the 3 for this game. Hermanson, Kyle, and Matt Morris. And by the way, Mike Matthews will make a start Friday night in Philadelphia. That was supposed to be the start for Ricky Ankiel, but of course he has been sent out and makes a start tonight at Oklahoma City for Memphis. and hopefully we'll be able to update you on his start throughout the evening. And it quickly goes to no balls and 2 strikes on Kendall.
And I think it's very significant that one of the guys that could, and I say could, but it's the first time I really heard his name being mentioned, being called up, is Alan Bennis. And the reason they would bring up Alan is they would want somebody with a little more durability and somebody that could eat up some innings coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, long relief, and that's what you get out of Alan Bennis, because the pitch count with Matthews would be around 60 to 75 pitches. He has started before. He's done that in the Cleveland organization, but has not done that with the Cardinals. On a 1-2 pitch, Kendall, a one-hopper into center and a base hit. And a leadoff base hit for the Pirates catcher. Let's go around the horn, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, Bonilla. Former Pirate is at first, Vigna is at second. Third base, Albert Pujols. Placido Polanco, another start at short here tonight. Ray Langford is in left for the Cardinals. Edmonds is in center. J.D. Drew in right. And behind the plate, the Gold Glover from a year ago, Mike Matheny. Around the horn, brought to you by Dobbs. So the 1-2 pitch, Kendall is aboard.
You really want to control these Pirates because they are a better club at home. They're 7-7, 11 games under 500 on the road. And they feed off the energy of a new ballpark. It just seems like a new ballpark provides a lot of magic. But tragically, Lloyd McClendon, first-year manager, really had a blow in spring training when he lost his top 3 starters. They do have Jason Schmidt back, and he won. He'll pitch tomorrow, and he won the only game on the most recent road trip for them.
Next by Hermanson is a strike to John Vanderwall, one of the top pinch hitters in the game, but he does not want to pinch hit. He wants to be an everyday player, and he has been so really the last couple of years. One for Gene Lamont, and now under Lloyd McClendon. And Vanderwall is hitting .333, 6 homers, 26 RBIs. Kendall is a threat to steal at first. He has 3 stolen bases on the year, 3 of 6. Hermanson is pumping gas here early on. 1-2.
And Dustin really seemed like he's throwing the ball well. You got to throw it on both sides of the plate and change speeds. Last outing, 6 innings. He had 2 earned runs, both solo home runs, and he defeated these Pirates, and 5-2 in his career against them.
Swing and a miss, and the first strikeout on the night for Hermanson as Vanderwall is retired. That'll bring in Aramis Ramirez.
And the bottom fall out of that pitch right there. A lot of people think maybe Dustin will develop and throw his changeup a lot more. You know, good power stuff. He's got a good hard sinker also. If he throws a changeup, mix it in with his breaking pitches, make him that much more effective.
Ramirez will step in, 1 out. Kendall is at first. And a 1-0 St. Louis lead. Some other options for Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa for a call-up would be Bud Smith, who apparently needs still to work on his breaking ball. Did have a very good outing, though, for Memphis on Friday night. And Carnuth could be back with the club as well. But looks like the likely candidate is going to be Alan Bennis.
Well, Alan, you know, the other guys, particularly Bud Smith, be coming up here the first time, is 21 years of age. Much better to leave him down there, and then when you bring him up, you know, you don't want to send him down. And he just needs some experience. He's also a changeup specialist, so his fastball is average or maybe even a bit minus major league quality, but his changeup has to be the pitch. And you know, these hitters are pretty well schooled. They're gonna take advantage of a young guy.
We saw the note drop from our Fox box. Aramis Ramirez, 9 home runs, 27 RBIs, and that leads the club.
What he's done in April and May, better average in May, but less production. But we're just halfway through.
Over Vigna and into center. Kendall will stop at second because of the strong throwing arm of Jim Edmonds. So 2 aboard and 1 out. And the cleanup man will step in, and that is Giles.
Line drive right over the head of Vigna, but That great throwing arm and accurate arm of Jim Edmonds holds him to a single and does not allow Kendall to advance past second.
Brian Giles will step in with first and second occupied, just one out. Batting fourth for the Pirates, and he looks at a strike from Hermanson. Down the right field line, it's 320. You know Giles likes that. He has 7 home runs and 16 RBIs, hitting .269.
And he has 3 home runs and 7 RBIs in the 14 games played here at PNC with a .345 average.
Shoots that foul, 0-2.
I think when we showed the batting order, we showed how Giles has really struggled with runners in scoring position. 5 for 29, 1 home run, and a .172 average. But this guy was a bona fide big leaguer, and he had a breakthrough year last year. .315, 35 home runs, and 123 RBIs.
This is the kind of guy that you pull for in the major leagues. Number one, he's a good guy, but Al, he spent 8 years in the Cleveland organization kind of toiling around, even though he has great talent. And there you see the majority of his hits go to right. But when you play behind some of the names that they had in Cleveland for so many years in the outfield, a guy like Manny Ramirez comes to mind, Kenny Lofton, some of the others that they've had, you're not going to break through. And finally he did, and then he signed the big contract, $45 million a year ago.
Yeah, well, you see he's not real big in size, and so that works against him. Some people not going to believe in him, but he's a good player, and he can play center field.
He was actually supposed to play center here tonight as he strikes out. Second strikeout on the night for Hermanson, but then he moved to left, and Emil Brown was inserted into the starting lineup.
Well, we showed the hits by direction, and he's a pull hitter. He hits from that open stance, and they try to take advantage of him away.
Kevin Young steps in his second tour of duty with the Pirates. Doesn't put up all that great of numbers where you stand back and say wow, but you look at the end of the season, he's always had productive years.
He got his first extra base hit in about 3 weeks yesterday.
Yeah. Hits it to short. Polanco, the flip to Vina. And the Pirates leave a couple here in the bottom half of the first. We're through 1 inning at PNC. Langford, Matheny, and Hermanson due up. 1-0 Cardinals as we move to the top half of the second. 3 hits for the Redbirds we want to tell you about. Coming up, Budweiser Visor Night. Friday, June 1st, the Cardinals play the Reds. The first 25,000 fans, 21 and over with a paid admission, receive a stylish Cardinals visor. Compliments of Budweiser, the official beer of the St. Louis Cardinals. That'll be Friday, June 1st, when the Cards battle Ken Griffey Jr. and the Cincinnati Reds. Ray Langford to lead things off. Langford, Matheny, Dustin Hermanson, if anybody can reach, then the top of the order for the Cardinals. And speaking of Junior, sounds like he's going to be out for longer than most expected for the Reds. Langford skies this one the opposite way. Going back is Brown, looking up. One hopper into the seats. That is the deepest, and I mean the deepest part of the ballpark. He hit that about 408 feet, and it hops over the wall for a ground rule double.
Yeah, right in that little corner where the Cardinal bullpen is. Ray was 0 for 9, so he gets a breaking ball. And this is what he's starting to get his production. He's starting to drive the ball to the opposite field. That is his natural strength. And right into that little corner, bouncing in for a ground rule double. So nice going, Raymond. You know, he hasn't liked it in the 7th spot, but he's been more productive there.
There you see the 410 sign near the Cardinal bullpen in left center. 410 is the deepest part of the park.
Straightaway center, it's 399. And they say the ball travels pretty well in that area, and especially out to right center. There's straightaway center.
I don't know about you, Al, but something that really stood out to me when I was on the field was the length of the grass on the infield. I mean, it is very, very high.
Well, I think that is by design for 2 reasons. One, it helps the sinker ball pitchers. It helps the pitchers And two, I think when you move into these new facilities, I think the groundskeepers purposely make it a little higher to get a better root system growing, and then they gradually will cut a little shorter. We're going to see Milwaukee next week at this time, and they are having a lot of trouble with their grass. Of course, they have a retractable dome, but probably with a cool spring that they really haven't had their dome open enough for that grass to grow.
I believe they have resodded that,
well,
or going to.
Yeah, I think they are now that the team is on the road.
Right.
They had been trying to patch it in different places, but then they were talking about resodding the whole field. So that could be very treacherous and slippery when we get there next week.
They pitched Mike inside, Mike Matheny. Let's see if he can shoot one to the right side and then move Langford over to third with less than 2 outs. Apparently they have, what, 23 home games, I think, already at Miller Park, and they have figured that 7 of those would be either snowed out or rained out, whatever the case may be. But because of the roof, that's obviously not going to be the case.
Absolutely. There's no air conditioning there. They don't need it, but they can heat the building 30 degrees.
3 balls and a strike on Matheny. Taps that foul, full count.
And we talk about a guy like Omar Olivares. You got to get to him early, and the Cardinals have already banged out 4 hits, including 2 extra base hits. But once he kind of gets into a groove and finds that release point, then that sinker, he stays on top of that sinker, and then they'll pound it right into the ground. Early in the game, he gets it up a little bit, and a high sinker is hit hard.
Well, the Buccos at 13-24. This is their worst start since the 1985 team. Here at home, 7-7. Matheny strikes out looking on the outside corner. Olivares got the call, and that's his 2nd strikeout on the night.
Well, a controversial look if you think about sitting around our good friends at the Casino Queen and looking west. Well, maybe that could be the skyline of a new ballpark. The proposed stadium site, you would be looking really more at the arch and a blinking light at night. So we're going to have to get them to light up the arch and really light up downtown St. Louis.
Hermanson a chance to help himself into center. The throw to the plate is not in time, and Dustin picks up an RBI. He had a huge night, remember, Al, in Arizona, when he hit the ball very well, and does it here.
He had a huge inning.
Yeah.
Remember, he got both those hits and an RBI in the same inning when he got his first win against Arizona. Pitch up, out over the plate, and he just hits it back into central. Ray Langford just kind of cruising, and Emil Brown threw it in here with a strong throw, but Ray slid across easily. But why not take a shot at it?
Just like that, 2-0 St. Louis as Langford scores the 2nd run of the night. Vigna scored the 1st run for the Redbirds back in the 1st. He'll step in with just 1 out. And he shoots that one foul. Vigna has a triple tonight and a run scored. And for the Cardinals, 1 of 5 hits already against Omar Olivares.
Danny, this is the 3rd ballpark that I've seen here in Pittsburgh.
Forbes Field, Three Rivers, and here.
First came to Forbes Field, and I can't tell you how nasty of a downtown area it was then. And Pittsburgh has done a phenomenal job of renaissance and rebuilding the downtown area.
You put it best so in the pregame show. It'd be amazing to think if this team was still at Three Rivers, how many people they'd be drawing this season. Because they are struggling, to say the least.
Well, and you know, it hasn't been a real nice spring for them yet. And then they got that terrible news. Oh, that got that right on the ankle and right around the leg area, and that had to hurt.
On an 0-2 pitch, Vigna is hit and down.
You know, Vigna is so tough, but where he got hit, there is no protection. And hopefully it's more in the calf than the ankle. Dr. Renteria, he is feeling much better, but I mean, ideally, they don't want to rush Renteria back into action right now either. Let's see where this. We got the back leg, and it looked like it was a little bit. Didn't it look like it was above the ankle?
Almost on the calf.
Yeah.
The ankle, that calf area, and well, either way, it's going to tighten up immediately.
I gotta believe it's almost more the ankle, because if it's the calf, you know, you aren't going to be in that much pain because there's a lot of meat there. But Vigna leads the National League in being hit 8 times. Last year he was hit 28 times to lead the National League. But most of the time they're glancing blows. This one wasn't. Looks like he's much better right now. But you know, he just tries to throw that power sinker down. He had him 0-2, and he missed the front leg. It got the back leg, and looks like he's going to be out of this game. That is not good news.
No, that's a huge loss if he's going to miss any time.
And remember that Renteria, who is nursing the quad and inside the knee strain. Paquette can go in and play. So, well, there's your answer. The Cardinals really do have a lot of versatility, and with Renteria still being hobbled a little bit, I'm sure we'll see Craig Paquette play second base.
Tony was saying before the game that Renteria more than likely would not start until over the weekend. Even then was a question mark. So now with Vigna out, Paquette will have to come into this game. And that's a huge loss for the Cardinals if Vigna's going to miss any time. We just hope he's all right. So Paquette is at first. Hermanson is at second. Polanco will step in. He has an RBI tonight, his 7th of the season. And it's 2-0 for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals, but now without Fernando Vigna. First baseman Young plays behind Paquette at first. Ramirez is even with the bag at third, and the first pitch misses outside with Edmonds awaiting on deck. And only one out here in the second.
Well, the Cubs dealt a devastating blow with Billy Miller injuring himself and being fracturing his kneecap, being out 8 weeks. Wish the best for him. You know, injuries are part of the game, but you just don't want them to happen to our team.
Thought the Cubs might have an interest then in Vinny Castilla. Instead, Houston picked him up and signed him to a 1-year deal this afternoon.
Well, he went to Chicago either way.
Yeah, those two were playing each other. 2 balls and a strike. Of course, Castillo was let go by Tampa Bay in the final year of a huge contract. Two balls and a strike on Polanco. Placido is hitting just under 350. Fourth on the club with 38 hits. And he's done that despite starting just 26 of the 36 games the Cardinals have played. First inning, Fernando Vigna would get things started for the Cardinals with a triple to lead off the game. He would then come around to score, but here in the second, he's hit by that pitch, and bad news for the Redbirds. Been taken out of this game.
And he did grab that left ankle.
Full count on Polanco. Olivares has struck out a couple and walked no one here tonight. Two-0 Cardinal lead, an RBI by the man at the plate, Polanco, and also Dustin Hermanson. Hermanson is at second, Paquette at first. Got a piece, but Kendall holds on, and he strikes out. Third strikeout for Olivares.
Breaking ball, and he fouled it back into the glove of Kendall.
And Edmonds will step in, who struck out his only time up. Albert Pujols is on deck. Jim hitting .376.
Edmonds second in the National League with a .380 average. He's first in night average.
One ball, no strikes on Edmonds. That evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Luis Gonzalez leads the league in home runs. He has 17. Then you have Bonds with 15. Drew and Pujols 3 and 4. Batting average, National League leaders. Edmonds hitting second in the National League. Pujols right behind him. That's updated with the strikeout by Edmonds and the base hit by Albert. But Pujols 13 home runs and Drew 14. Those two are in the top 5 in home runs in the National League.
A lot of Cardinal names dotting the National League leader board.
Edmonds, Pujols, and Polanco in the top 10 of hitting. We're in the top of the second, 2-0 Cardinals. Now Kendall and Olivares cannot hook up. So 2 balls and a strike, they call time. Pete Osick, by the way, was taken off the disabled list. Warren Morris was optioned to AAA for the Pirates, and that was done right before the game. And a monthly report, May's been a good month for the Cardinals.
It has, and we got 2 weeks left. Let's just keep the pace we're on right now. This is a tough road trip. We'll know a lot about this ball club at the end of it. And victory here tonight would be a good way to get us started.
2-2 on the Cardinals center fielder, Jim Edmonds. May have just gotten a lot tougher. Vignea's going to miss time. First and second, 2-0. We're in the second, 2 outs and a 2-2 count. And he struck him out on the outside corner. Edmonds didn't like the call at all. And that's the 4th strikeout for Olivares. But the Cardinals get a run. But Fernando Vigna taken out of this game after being hit by the pitch. It's 2-0 Cardinals through an inning and a half. May 15th, 1918. This day in baseball history brought to you by Schnucks. In an 18-inning game, Senator Walter Johnson defeats Lefty Williams, who also pitches the entire game. This day in baseball history is brought to you by Schnucks. Well, coming up at 10, it's the Midwest Sports Report. Rob King standing by with a look at what's on tap.
Thanks, guys. Coming up tonight in the Midwest Sports Report, immediately following the game, we'll catch up on Rick Yankeel's start down in Oklahoma City, plus the Blues in a 2-0 hole. We'll go behind enemy lines. You'll hear from the Avalanche. First, back to PNC Park and rejoining Dan and Al. Guys?
Thank you, Rob. And here at PNC, looking forward to that, by the way. Coming up at 10, the Midwest Sports Report here on Fox Sports Net. It's 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Cardinals with the lead. They've banged out 5 hits against Omar Olivares. Dustin Hermanson has helped himself. He has an RBI, as well as Polanco. But if you're just joining us, Fernando Vigna was hit by a pitch, looked like on his left ankle, and taken out of this game. So Paquette replaces him. He'll play second. Remember, Renteria is not available except to pinch hit. And Polanco has to stay at short. Enrique Wilson to lead things off against Hermanson. It's his second season with Pittsburgh. Came over from Cleveland. Was called up by the Indians back in 1997. Hits it to short. Polanco is there, and there's 1 out. Emil Braun will step in, followed by Pat Mears. Hermanson now has a very live fastball, but the thing that got him into trouble early on were his emotions. And you want a guy that cares, and certainly he cares more than anybody, but his emotions sometimes got the best of him, didn't they?
Yeah, you just have to learn how to channel those emotions, take that extra adrenaline, and use it for a positive.
Neil Brown shoots one right side and a base hit. That's the third hit of the night for the Pirates.
They kind of jammed him, and he inside out, a little muscle, and just found a hole on the right side. So a pretty good pitch. And you got a guy that's hitting under 200 who just, for the first time in a while, he's been a little lucky.
Pat Mears will step in. One out, one on. He's hitting under 250.
He did have one of the 2 solo home runs off of Hermanson in St. Louis.
He has 2 home runs on the year and 7 RBIs. Quick move by Hermanson, and Brown is back in there.
Cardinals got a good double play combination, whether Paquette's in there or not, so get that sinker working.
Two 2-0 on Mears with the pitcher on deck. Three hits on the night for the Pirates against Dustin Hermanson. They trailed 2-0. Three 3-0. Talked about the home run by Pat Mears last Wednesday in St. Louis. One of his 2 on the year. 3 balls, no strikes, and Olivares awaits on deck. There's a strike from Dustin. Pat Mears came up with the Twins in '93. Spent 6 seasons with Minnesota. Now in 2001, the Twins have the lowest payroll in Major League Baseball, but yet leading their division. We'll see the Phillies over the weekend. They have been a huge surprise in Major League Baseball. 3 balls and 1 strike on Mears. Runner is going. Pitch is a strike. Throw down to second. Gets into center field. Mears is trotting towards first, but that was a strike. So he'll be asked to come on back, and I think Paquette may have thought now that he was a bit confused whether or not it was strike or ball. Didn't matter. He should have been able to keep this on the infield.
Well, Matheny's thrown out 10 of 14 before this steal attempt, and you know, sometimes I think you're right. He probably thought it was ball 4. He just looked over first base. Hermanson trying to check out the action, but you know, you got to knock that ball down. Don't be the umpire. That'll be an error for Matheny, his first of the year, and Craig very easily could have stopped that ball. I think you're absolutely right, though. He thought it was ball 4.
Next to Mears, he just got a piece. It's a big out here if Hermanson can get it. With 1 gone, he already got Wilson that
now
leading off and grounding out.
We understand they're giving the error to Paquette.
Brown reached on a base hit. Moves up on the air by Paquette, the stolen base. So you get Mears here. You have 2 outs and the pitcher up next. The next driven into left. Langford going back at the track, looking up, and that's off the wall. Ray will get it in. And it's a triple for Pat Mears, and he gets the Pirates on the board. Their 4th hit of the night, and it's 2-1 Cardinals.
Pat has been swinging the bat. He's hit in now 8 of his last 11, and he hit that home run earlier off Hermanson on last start Wednesday. Doesn't get this one out of the ballpark, and watch Langford going back. It hits right at the base, and so it caroms past Ray. Edmonds retrieves it. See Ray going back on this ball, and then instead of hitting the padding, it hits right below the padding of the Budweiser sign, and it looks like it's a concrete area, and it got the hard kick and carom and went back by Ray.
Infield is in. Olivares into shallow center. No one can make that play. It's a base hit for the pitcher. That ties the game 2-2. A little dunker into center. With the infield in, they couldn't make the play, and it's a 2-2 game.
Well, you play the infield in, but Olivares, we remember when he played with the Cardinals, he's a good hitter. Played a lot of time in the American League, but he got an RBI last week at home off of Van Kiel. Now he gets one here off of Hermanson. So both pitchers have helped their own cause by driving in a run. And we have a tie score, 2-2. Both teams have 5 hits.
Jason Kendall, the leadoff man for the Pirates, will step in. Still only 1 out. Olivares is at first, and the first pitch is up and in. Kendall, his first time up, got a base hit. 1 of 5 hits on the night for the Pirates. We're only in the second.
3 consecutive hits for the Pirates. 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Hitters that you have to dominate, and they've all reached base. The last 2 with RBI base hits.
Good pitch there by Dustin. Evens a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Jason Kendall signed for $60 million, an extension that'll keep him through 2007 here in Pittsburgh. Without this new ballpark, guys like Giles and Kendall get away. Hit to short. This is going to be tough to turn. Paquette to first, and Kendall is safe at first.
That wasn't the easiest play for Polanco, but he's so sound fundamentally. He was able to not have any problems, get the lead runner. Ball into the hole, took a funny hop, came up on him, but he stayed with it, and he gets the first out. And Kendall, even though he's a catcher, he has that great running speed. He reads it out at first base. The 27th game that Kendall has batted from the leadoff spot.
Mind seeing a catcher lead things off? Does it really matter?
Well, just you know, he won't be there much longer. Too many more years back behind the plate. His foot speed will be gone.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why the Astros moved Biggio from catcher back to second base to try and save his legs and save his asset, his running speed.
Here is Vanderwall, who struck out in his only plate appearance. Fouls it back. No balls and 2 strikes. John Vanderwall. Vanderwall has spent time with the Expos, Colorado, San Diego, and now Pittsburgh. It's a 2-2 game here in the second. Off and running is Kendall. Throw down to second, and goodbye. Great pick by Polanco. Matheny throws him out, guns him down. Kendall is 3 of 7 on the year. Well, Pat Mears got things going for the Pirates. An RBI triple to get him on the board. Olivares helped himself. It's a 2-2 game. 2-2 game as we move to the top of the third. 5 hits aside and 1 error on the Cardinals. Well, on the field, they're invincible. But off the field, they're all too human. Fox Sports takes a look at the athletes you thought you knew. This week, it's Roy Jones Jr. He was raised by his father to become the greatest fighter of his era, but his greatness came with a price. Find out about the Roy Jones Jr. you never knew as Beyond the Glory takes you inside the hidden world of sports' biggest stars. Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8, only here on Fox Sports Net. Here's Albert Pujols. Pujols drew in Bonilla. If anybody can reach Ray Langford, we've just gotten word on Fernando Vina who was hit by the pitch last inning on his left ankle. It's an ankle bruise. He's been taken to the hospital for x-rays and precautionary reasons, obviously. So our thoughts are with Fernando and hope he's okay.
And more housekeeping news. Our official scorer said E4 on the stolen base attempt.
Pujols drives this one into left field. Wow, look at this one go. Albert Pujols with home run number 14. That ties him with J.D. Drew for the team lead. 14 home runs for Pujols, 43 RBIs, and he's 2 for 2 here tonight. Wow.
And he came in second place in those RBIs, and he adds one more to it. 7th home run allowed, and see, his ball is down and in, and he drives the ball. So Cardinals have a lead. So that was not an error on Paquette, it's an error on Matheny. The scorekeeper said E4, but he meant E2. How about that?
We'll get it straight one way or another. But how about number 5, Albert Pujols?
Well, it's what would you expect? The only thing you expect right now is JD to overtake him and take the lead. These two guys having some friendly competition, and each of them are pushing the other inside part of the plate, and he can crush it.
That advanced scout right now is hiding.
Yeah, because that wasn't a fastball.
No, it wasn't. Here is J.D. Drew. So Pujols has given the Cardinals lead back in their favorites, 3-2 St. Louis, and J.D. steps in. 3 balls and a strike.
Is that King from Philadelphia that told you that?
No, it was not.
Okay.
Full count on J.D., who steps in with 14 home runs and 29 RBIs, hitting over 300.
Thought J.D. would take that pitch inside and drive it. He likes to pull the ball. They're going to try and pitch him away.
J.D. a 5-game hit streak and never swung the bat. It was 3-0 and now takes 3 straight and strikes out. Olivares has 5 strikeouts here.
Ball is starting to run a little bit for Omar.
Bobby Bowe is met with a chorus of boos from the Pittsburgh fans. She was part of those great teams in the early 1990s. Bonilla and Drabek and Jay Bell, Andy Van Slyke, Jim Leland. Bonilla gets under this one. In foul ground. Kevin Young reaching over and can't make the play.
Nice effort by Kevin. Trying to time his jump. Coming over here, he's looking up. Got that auxiliary scoreboard there, and
padding on top of the scoreboard, but not on the ground. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bobby Bowe. Who flew out to left and left a couple of men on. Back in the first to end the inning. Two-one pitch. 3-1 again. Olivares falling behind here on Bonilla. Langford is on deck. Bonilla draws the 1-out walk here in the third. First walk handed out by Olivares. Ray Langford will step in. He has a double and a run scored. 1 for 1. Three-2 Cardinals here in the third with 1 out. Bonilla at first. Ray takes a strike. Ray homered in 3 of the 4 games during the series in which we saw the Pirates last week. 117 career home runs at Busch, and correct me if I'm wrong, Al, that's tops by a Cardinal.
It is.
Mike Matheny has stepped on deck. 1-1.
He's the all-time home run leader at Busch Stadium for the Cardinals in their history, and he is ranks third in home runs.
Along with those 3 home runs against the Pirates at Busch a week ago, he added 8 RBIs in that 4-game series, and that's what really got the Cardinals going. Sweeping the Pirates 4 straight, sweeping the Cubs in 3, and now a half-game lead in the Central. You can see, though, the rest of the division is starting to play a little better as well. Besides St. Louis, Houston and Milwaukee only a game back. The Pirates are 8.5 out, and this is not the way that they wanted to start their first season at PNC Park. But as you mentioned, Al, a lot of injuries, and in particular to their pitching at the start of the season, and that made it tough for Lloyd McClendon in his first year. 2 balls and a strike on Ray. Ray and 1. Olivares has thrown a lot of pitches here early on.
He's throwing a lot of pitches, working on both sides of the plate. Missing the last one to Bobby Bonilla, that last one to Ray Langford. Now, when he's got that good sinker going down and away from these left-handers, it's tough.
The 3-1 to Langford. Taps it right side. Kevin Young confused, and that's a smart play by Bobby Bonilla. He has got to know to get the force at second and then have a chance at a double play. But Bonilla, he just fooled him.
Well, Bobby's kind of laughing about it, but I think Kevin Young just didn't anticipate. What's he doing? Just come up with your first instinct was to throw it, and you got a chance for a double play. But when you're holding it like that, you allow Ray Langford to get to first base. You know, you got to assume or think about what happens if the ball's hit to me. You got to run at first base, get the double play.
Isn't that the first thing that you're taught when you play baseball? What do you do if the ball's hit to me?
Well, but sometimes guys are taught that. They know that. When they get to the major leagues, then you have to reteach them.
Yeah.
Because they think they know it all.
Well, it gives the Cardinals a chance here. They would have had a very good shot to get that double play. Probably would have turned it. Instead, it brings up Mike Matheny, who hits it into center and picks up a base hit. Ball gets away. Langford on his way to third. He is safe.
Well, that's a gutsy play by Ray, because I'm already impressed with Emil Brown's throwing arm.
Mike Matheny is 1 for 2. Langford is at third. Matheny at first, and with that gaff by Young, it brought up Mike Matheny. He gets a base hit and extends the inning to Hermanson.
They will score an error on Emil Brown, allowing Langford to go to third. But he can see this arm is pretty good.
Well, Hermanson can hit. We've seen that here tonight. He has a base hit and an RBI. And his only at bat, that was back in the second. 3-2 St. Louis. 7 hits on the night for the Redbirds. First and third, 2 outs. And the first pitch is a strike. What's on Tap is brought to you by Budweiser. With the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer, this Bud's for you. What's on Tap? It'll be the Cardinals and the Pirates tomorrow once again right here on Fox Sports Net at 5:30 with our pregame show. 5:30 tomorrow. Cardinals and Pirates. What's on Tap brought to you by Budweiser. The next to Hermanson. 1-1. 86 miles an hour from Olivares. Paquette waits on deck. He is now the leadoff man after taking over from Bean, who was hit by a pitch and left this game. That catches the outside corner, 1-2. Back in the second, Al, Dustin Hermanson helping himself.
That's right. Ball stayed up, and he just hit it back into central. He drives in his RBI, the second one of the year. and he could help his own cause once again.
First and third, 2 outs and a 1-2 count on Hermanson. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. So he strikes out 2 in the inning, and he struck out 6 in the game. But Albert Pujols, yep, folks, he's back at it again. Another home run, 3-2 St. Louis. Well, Tony La Russa has lost Fernando Vina in this game. He was hit by a pitch. He's been taken to the hospital for x-rays on his ankle that was hit. It was his left ankle. The Cardinals lead it by the score of 3-2 as we move to the bottom half of the third here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Hey, kids, on Saturday, June 16th, when the Cardinals play the Chicago White Sox, it's McDonald's Collector's Coin Day. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive a collector's coin featuring pitcher Darryl Kyle, the ace of the staff, courtesy of McDonald's. It'll be Saturday, June 16th, when the Cards host the White Sox in interleague play. Thinking about interleague play and looking ahead, Al, you know that Mark McGwire is not going to be able to come off the DL anytime soon, but he probably could DH, and that could happen against Kansas City in mid-June, possibly. Would you be tempted to do it?
Yeah, tempted. That's an easy word to say yes to. But
trying to lay it in your lap so we don't get in trouble here.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You're trying to put it in my.
I know what I'd say.
Well, I think that's the one thing that you're probably going to see him back in July. You got the second stage of interleague play there. He's taking some batting practice, he's moving around, increasing his activities. But I think that would be the very earliest time, about 3 weeks.
Right.
And no one is trying to push Mark or try to, we want him to be healthy and always look forward until once he comes back and never look back. So the best thing that the teammates can do is just go out there and keep on winning games, stay in first place, and then you don't have to feel like you're rushing for your teammates.
One of the reasons why you don't have to rush back is because of the man that is homered here tonight once again, and that is Albert Pujols. Pujols with his 14th home run, a team high along with J.D. Drew. The Cardinals lead it by the score of 3-2. Vanderwall draws the walk, and that's the first walk handed out by Dustin Hermanson. Ramirez will step in. He's the number 3 man in their order, followed by Brian Giles. He'll back cleanup. Dustin has struck out 2 on the night, 1 walk. So the leadoff man is aboard, and this is lifted into center field. Blanker coming over as well, who wants it. It'll be Jim Edmonds, the center fielder, in left center, puts it away for out number 1. Well, Ricky Ankiel is making a start tonight. And one man that understands what Ankiel has gone through is Steve Blass, and he works on the radio side as well as the television side for the Pirates. And his loss of control, Al, led him to leave baseball.
Well, completely different than Ankiel because he was a veteran.
Runner goes. Why would you test him? Oh. Matheny gunned it down to second. Looked like the throw had beaten him. Instead, Vanderwall has his 3rd stolen base of the season.
Very few clubs are going to run off of Matheny. Came in throwing out 71% of base tours, but you have to believe that they're stealing off of Hermanson, slow to the plate.
This is slicing. Edmonds is there, and so is Langford, and Ray puts it away as Giles flies out to left. That throw beat him. It looked like he was out at second.
Yeah, he beat him here, and second base umpire Jerry Lane gave the call to Vanderwall, but I think by the replay it surely looked like he slid right into the tag. The tag was out in front of the bag and applied it before he reached second base.
So Giles is 0 for 2 with a strikeout in that line out. Now it's Kevin Young up to him with a man in scoring position and 2 gone. Steve Blass, by the way, will be our guest with Mike Shannon tomorrow on the pregame show.
Steve Blass won 19 ball games for the world champion Pirates. And I mean, I think he was like MVP of the postseason, and then came spring training the next year and couldn't throw strikes.
That hit Young.
Yep. Home plate umpire's not sure.
Tony Randazzo is our home plate umpire. Looked like it may have nicked Mike Matheny as well. Young trying to reach base any way he can. Instead, it's called a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And now Lloyd McClendon, who's had a lot of conversations with umpires in the first month and a half. He's going to get a clarification. Let's take a look at it. See what you think. Oh, it did. It absolutely did hit that back elbow and change direction. That's hard. That's hard to miss that one when it changes direction like that.
We saw him ejected in the series against the Cardinals, and then yesterday in Milwaukee there was a home run, or at least they thought it was a home run off the bat of Pat Mears in a very tight game at Miller Park, and down the left field line near the foul pole, a fan couldn't catch it. It ricocheted off his hands and went back towards the play area of where the seats would be, so it looked like it hit the foul pole, and it was called originally a home run. Mears circled the bases, then he had to come back and he struck out.
Yeah, well, Mears also and the Pirates also knew that the umpire, the crew eventually got it right. It was a foul ball, and that's the whole case in point. That was what happened in St. Louis. Is the umpires are making a concerted effort to get the plays correct, and we applaud them for it.
So again, Steve Blass will be Mike Shannon's guest tomorrow on our pregame show here on Fox Sports Net. That is hit towards short. Polanco, good play there as that ball kind of came up on him. And he makes a nice play. The Pirates lead 1. They left 3 in the game. Hermanson and the Cardinals lead it by the score of 3-2. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Auto Tire, the right place for the right tire. By Affleck, without it, no insurance is complete. And by Steak and Shake, famous for our steak burgers. Back here in Pittsburgh, Craig Paquette is now the leadoff man. He is taken over for Fernando Bina, who was hit by the pitch and taken to the hospital. So we'll get further word on Fernando's ankle, which had a deep, deep bruise on his left ankle. And hopefully no broken bones. Swing and a miss by Paquette. This is his first plate appearance. He came in and then the second and pinch ran. Olivares has struck out 6 on the night, and it's 1 and 2 on Paquette. Polanco to follow, then Edmonds. On base percentage, this is NL team leaders leading off an inning, and the Cardinals are tops in that category, followed by the Reds, Cubs, Diamondbacks, and Rockies. Paquette looks at a call, 3rd strike, and that's how we start the 4th inning. 7 strikeouts for Omar Olivares.
Omar's just getting a good, getting in a groove right now. He's throwing the ball on both sides of the plate, changing some speeds.
And here's Polanco, who struck out his last time up. Cardinals, with the exception of what Paquette just did, were 3 for 3 prior to this inning when leading off an inning, and now Polanco takes a strike from Olivares. The pitching has been so tough here in Pittsburgh because of the injuries. It's been tough for them. They signed Ramon Martinez, and then he made a few starts and retired. Benson has been out. Schmidt has been out. We'll see Schmidt tomorrow. Cordova has been out. They've had all kinds of problems. 3-2 game here in the 4th. Polanco hits at the second. Pat Mears is there over to Kevin Young, and there's 2 down. Let's turn now to our Affleck trivia question. Were the last 2 Pirates to hit for the cycle against the Cardinals? I know Jason Kendall did it last season.
Well, I know the answer, but it's not somebody I would have thought.
Edmonds will step in, nobody on, 2 outs. Well, Kendall's 1.
And you think of Dave Parker or Omar Moreno, somebody like that with speed and power. Parker was really that. The answer may be a little bit surprising.
Wouldn't say Stargell or Madlock or Tony Pena.
Stargell, you got to get a triple.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't say that. But maybe I could be right.
You could be right, but
you saying it's Pops? Are you alluding to that?
I didn't say that. I don't want to tell anybody the answer.
One ball, one strike on Jim Edmonds. A 3-2 game here in the fourth. Well, I guess if that's my clue, I might be right.
What do you guess, 8?
Edmonds pops it up and into the sheets. Two and two the count. Edmonds has struck out twice. Olivares has 7 strikeouts on the night. But the Cardinals have the lead. The next to Edmonds. They set up inside and he hits the spot. Jim Edmonds has struck out 3 times tonight. 8 for Olivares. Wilson, Brown, Mears due up. 3-2 Redbirds. Let's turn once again to our Aflac trivia question. Who were the last 2 Pirates to hit for the cycle against the St. Louis Cardinals? Jason Kendall, we knew that. He did it a year ago. And Willie Stargell, Pops, part of that We Are Family championship team in 1979. One of the great all-time Pirates. And certainly when you think of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Al, maybe first and foremost you think of Willie Stargell, who passed away on opening day for the Pirates. 3-2 St. Louis. We move to the bottom half of the fourth. This is Enrique Wilson, followed by Emil Brown and Pat Mears.
And it was an honor to be on the same field with Willie and compete against him for many years. Had a lot of good battles with him.
Just love the game, huh?
Well, I mean, he was just a consummate professional. He just was, you know, Lloyd McClendon says, you know, he taught him an awful lot about the game and sort of a mentor with him. But Pops was somebody that was recognized as a guy that had a passion for the game and played it right.
Of course, Mike Easler was part of those great teams in the late 70s. With the Pirates, the Cardinal hitting coach, he said he didn't play with anybody better.
And they honored the great Willie Stargell. They had the star there.
A ball and 2 strikes on Wilson. And he taps this towards the right side. Paquette is there, and there's 1 down. Something that Willie Stargell did, Al, when he knew that he was going to retire, he went to the front office, he went to individual players, and he went to the ticket takers that he knew, and he took a picture with them all individually, just side by side, and then made plaques of all the pictures and then gave them a note for each one of them individually, describing his time with them. And that's something you just don't hear about. That's something that's first class.
Yep. There he is. There's Willie. Up and in.
How far could this guy hit a ball?
Well, he hit one of the longest ones ever at Busch Stadium, but I mean, just about every stadium in the major leagues, somebody can tell you about a long distance shot that he hit there. But he had fun playing the game. Always had a big smile on his face.
Big swing and a miss on a 2-0 pitch to Emil Brown.
You know, I had the pleasure of pitching in Forbes Field. There, if you got taken out of a game, you had to go through the Pirates dugout.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Base hit for Emil Brown, and that is hit number 6 on the night for the Pirates. So what was that like? I mean, he probably had every guy ready to just tear your head off, probably.
Well, you know, it was at the end of their bench, and then they had the thing called the dungeon. You went down a long tunnel, and it came out to where the clubhouse areas were. But there was, never happened to me, but there was a lot of stories about how some unhappy hitters in a knockdown contest would be waiting at the other end of the dungeon.
Not surprising.
You know, I guess you could stay on the bench until your teammates came with you.
Yeah. Here's Pat Mears, who has a triple, a run scored, and an RBI.
And it was so far out in center field. I know Mike Shannon was talking about it, but it was 440 or something. They would just park the batting cage out and leave it on the playing field in center field. They just turn it around so the mouth of it would be up against the wall, and it was in play. If anybody could hit it that far.
I would assume the Players Association probably wouldn't go for that now in 2001, something like that. Probably not.
You know, it was back then that I think players were expendable. They weren't, you know, they didn't have any investments. Ball clubs didn't have investments in players. Guy had a sore arm. There was no such thing as surgery. It was, you know, either you pitch or you go home.
Rip just foul.
Obviously much better today, and it's kind of a double-edged sword because ball clubs have such huge investments in players that they are willing to give them, you know, years to recover from a surgery.
Be interesting on this road trip to go to Milwaukee, and I'm sure we're going to run into Bud Selig, but I thought, and this is my own opinion, I thought we would be hearing a whole lot more about the labor.
No. And that is good news.
I agree.
Absolutely good news.
But I thought we would be hearing more about it, but that's taken back page news to what's going on in the field.
Absolutely. There's $1 million fine if the owners talk about it, but I think what's even equally impressive, you're not hearing it from the owners, you're not hearing it from the Players Association. There are discussions going on, and don't worry about it. You know, let's just talk about baseball during the baseball season.
Runner is going, and that's foul.
In years past, you would get in trouble where, you know, one side would start talking, you know, in the press, and then the press would exploit it one way or the other, and then once, you know, even I remember one year we had a strike and it lasted 2 extra weeks because one player started complaining, started feeling the pinch, and some owners said, oh, see, they're ready to cave, and negotiations stopped for a couple weeks. Let the negotiators talk about it, nobody else talk about it, and get it resolved.
That almost hit Pat Mears. Instead, it's a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. For 1 out in a 3-2 game here in the 4th, and the pitcher Olivares is on deck.
You know, Danny, that's a good pitch right there. You got a guy that's been giving you a little bit of trouble. You want to send his attention, saying, wait a minute, you know, you're swinging a little too hard against me. Wasn't trying to hit him, but he was trying to make him a little message and set him up for this pitch.
Went back inside, and it's fought off. Well, this road trip, we see this new ballpark. We'll head to Philadelphia. We'll see a new surface on their field. Milwaukee, brand new ballpark, and then Cincinnati as we wind it down in 2 weekends. That basically is like a new ballpark because they have grass. Left field is non-existent as far as seats are concerned. Big wall in center, and the ball is just shooting off the bat. Lots of home runs at Synergy Field in Cincinnati. Going the other way, coming on is Drew, and he makes the play. The throw to first, and they get the double play. Well, J.D. came on strong, took a chance, and made the play. A shoestring catch by the right fielder, J.D. Drew. And more importantly, Olivares is left on deck. 3-2. Redbirds with Pujols due up. J.D. Drew, part of a double play to end last inning. Well, Thursday, America's pastime comes to Fox Family with Thursday night baseball. Jim Edmonds and the Cardinals will be here in the Steel City. They'll take on Jason Kendall and the Pirates live from PNC Park. Coverage begins Thursday at 6 o'clock Central on the Fox Family channel. Here's Albert Pujols, who looks at a strike. He is homered here tonight, has 14 now on the year. 43 RBIs. He's 2 for 2. He came in hitting 370. Make it 3 for 3. That ball's going to get down. This guy's unbelievable. 3 for 3 for Pujols, and now he is a triple away from the cycle.
And where is he hitting them? All over the ball field. Yeah. So they can go down and get that pitch out of the way and slice it into right field.
So Pujols is aboard, and the Cardinals' leadoff man is aboard to start an inning for the 4th time in 5 innings. And here's J.D. Drew. He and Pujols tied with 14 home runs for the team lead. Olivares has struck out 8.
I showed you that great graphic, just the wrong time to show about the leadoff hitter and reaching base.
That was last inning we showed it, and then Paquette struck out looking. Quickly, 2-0 on J.D. He was singled and struck out. Good play by J.D. to end last inning, was it?
That looks like Spin Williams, pitching coach, going to come out and talk to Omar as he's falling behind the count, 2-0.
Well, if you would like to win Cardinals tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinals home game, here is your chance to do so. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. Good luck from Southwest Airlines and all of us at Fox Sports Net. 2 balls, no strikes on J.D. Drew. Let's see if he wants to be aggressive here. He was 3-0 in his last time up, but never took the bat off his shoulders. He is aggressive here. Hits it high and into left field, and Brian Giles is there. Puts it away. Out number 1 here in the 5th. Anxious to find out what Rick Ankiel does tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just, have you ever been to Oklahoma City's ballpark? I don't know if they have a new one or not, but the one I remembered was an awful small bandbox. But of course, that doesn't have anything to do with control. I think Rick is, and I think what's also important is he was asked after every time he pitched, what was his assessment? What did he want to do? And finally, he said, "I need to go down."
Right, and that was number 1, confronting it yourself and admitting that the best thing for you is to go down.
And the reason why he wants to go down, I think, is even more important, and a reason why he'll come back quickly. As he said, I want to come back. He felt like he didn't belong here. He was letting his teammates down. He said, I want to earn the right to be here just like all of you.
Turn to our in-game box score. Cardinals tonight. Home run by Pujols. Run scored by Langford. He's 1 for 2. Hermanson helping himself as well. Cardinals have 8 hits on the night. You see Paquette at the top of that inbox look, and the reason why you see Craig is because Vina was hit by a pitch on his back left ankle when he was hitting, and was taken to the hospital for x-rays, calling it a deep bruise, precautionary measure to check the ankle to make sure there's no broken bones, and he was down in severe pain when he was hit by that pitch and down for a good 3 to 5 minutes. O'Neill, shot one right side, good play by Young. On to first, and they get the double play. What a double play, started by Kevin Young. The diving stop here. Gathered himself, they turn the double play, 3-2 Redbirds. Hey kids, on Saturday, June 2nd, the Cardinals play the Reds. It's BJC Healthcare Kids Cap Day. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive a specially designed Cardinals cap featuring the signature of Mark McGuire. That is compliments of BJC Healthcare. That'll be Saturday, June 2nd, when the Cardinals host the Cincinnati Reds. And note, the start time on June 2nd is 12:15. Cardinals and Reds. Dyer Miller and Galen Pitts for the watchful eyes at Memphis, watching Rick Ankiel making the start tonight in Oklahoma City. Dustin Hermanson making the start for the Cardinals here tonight. Omar Oliveras, the start for Pittsburgh. He's at the plate. And it's the top of the order with Kendall and Vanderwall. It's a 3-2 Redbird lead. That's driven down the left field line, but hooking foul off the bat of Oliveras, who has a base hit here tonight and an RBI.
Telling you what, he's got a. He can throw. I mean, he can hit with the best of them. He's one of the better hitting pitchers. He's really jammed the heck out of Edmonds. Pitching good. He struck out 8. And he had an RBI base hit earlier in this ball game. That was the last time the Pirate was plated. It was off the bat of Omar.
1-2 pitch. Hit to Pujols, who settles himself, gathers and throws, and a pick by Bonilla at first, and there's one down as we begin play here in the bottom half of the 5th. Now the voice of the Memphis Redbirds is Tom Stocker. I talked to him today, and of course Tom not only does the play-by-play, but he also doubles in PR and sales and all the different aspects at Memphis, and he was saying there was just a onslaught of media, as you might expect, to see the first start for Ricky Ankiel, but they really anticipated to really settle down after this first start, not be as much in the spotlight, and that will be a good thing too for Rick, to kind of get out of the spotlight, just let him pitch, let him blend in, and that's something that they're trying to do at Memphis. Is Kendall breaking ball strike.
Well, Danny, the other thing that was so obvious about Rick was he wasn't having any fun.
Right.
I mean, his personality and his demeanor has just absolutely changed. He was, kind of withdrawing, and he's really an outgoing, gregarious kind of guy, and very, just fun-loving young guy. He's a 21-year-old, and he was withdrawing, and so, you knew he wasn't happy, and he'll go down there, get it straightened out, and he'll be back. You think about it, where do wild guys, where are they normally? They're in the minor leagues.
Right. Think about that starting staff that they have right now with Bud Smith and Ankiel and Alan Bennis and Chad Hutchinson.
Clint Weibel.
Yeah, that's not too bad. One out here in the 5th and a 3-2 Redbird lead. 3 balls and a strike on Kendall, who has a base hit tonight. He's 1 for 2. Caught stealing back in the 2nd. Matheny's 1 for 3. The base runners here tonight. That's fouled away and a full count. Kendall, a base hit in the 1st and a fielder's choice. Hit into in the 2nd. Pirates have 6 hits against Hermanson, and Dustin has struck out 2 and walked 1. Kendall, line drive, caught by Craig Paquette.
Pitching profile this season by the Cardinals. The starters 17-9, 4.50 ERA. Relievers got 8 saves and 12 opportunities, 119 innings, and an ERA of 3.18. The pitchers are currently ranked 4th in the National League with a 4.06 earned run average.
This is fouled back off the bat of John Vanderwall, who has struck out and walked in this game. You can hear the crowd here at PNC Park cheering, "Let's go Pens." They have taken the lead in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals against New Jersey. 3-2. That's the big story here with the Pirates struggling. Mario Lemieux's return, and we're seeing that all over the place here at PNC Park, and a big cheer when they scored their 3rd goal in that game. That's shot down the left field line and a base hit for Vanderwall. Langford gathers it in quickly to Paquette. 2-out base hit for Vanderwall. He's 1 for 2, and the 2nd time he's been aboard in this game. That'll bring in Aramis Ramirez.
Vanderwall just a solid hitter, and there are 2 outs, so retiring Ramirez right now. He's 1 for 2 in the night.
Again, Ramirez leads the club in home runs and RBIs. 9 home runs, 27 RBIs, and he's 1 for 2 tonight.
Ramirez was, about 3 years ago. They thought they would start him for this young player, and like most young players, they struggle for up and down for a couple years. And now he's starting to finally fulfill his the organization's dreams for his abilities.
Tomorrow we will see Jason Schmidt, the right-hander for Pittsburgh. He'll be making his second start of the season. Of course, he began the year on the disabled list with a left abdominal strain. He's also trying to recover from right shoulder surgery. Had 4 rehab starts and made his first start with the Pirates last Friday. And we'll have that broadcast tomorrow night here on Fox Sports Net beginning at 5:30 with Cardinals tonight.
They went 5 2/3 innings of shutout baseball, and that was the only win they had on their recent road trip.
Well, they're 1-7 or 1-6?
I think 1-7.
Yeah. 4 against the Cardinals and then 3 against Milwaukee.
And 1-6. That was the case.
1 ball, 1 strike here on Ramirez. 2-1. Pitch count for Dustin Hermanson here tonight. 79 pitches.
Pirates have lost 3 straight games in 7 of their last 8.
The way that this series is shaped up as far as the rotation, just what you want if you're Tony La Russa. It really feels the Pirates are a dangerous team. Number 1, for the fact that they're struggling. Number 2, playing at home. Polanco gets the force at second to Paquette. It'll be Darryl Kyle and Matt Morris the rest of the way. Hopefully Dustin Hermanson picks up another victory. Hermanson and the Cardinals lead it tonight 3-2. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers for tires and complete auto service. All you need is Dobbs. Ray Langford to lead things off on a perfect night, rather cool night here at PNC Park against Omar Olivares. And Ray shoots it back and out of play. It's 3-2 St. Louis. Olivares has been very good tonight. In the strikeout department, he has struck out 8, including Edmonds 3 times. The Cardinals have 8 hits. Both teams have committed an error. And the 0-1 to Ray. Make it 0-2. Langford, Matheny, and Dustin Hermanson here in the top half of the 6th. The 0-2 to Langford. This is outside, and this is the beginning of a very long road trip for the Cardinals. And before the last out of last inning, now we're talking about how the pitching staff shapes up in this series. You've got Darryl Kyle 5-2 tomorrow, Matt Morris 5-2 on Thursday night, and that's the way that Tony La Russa would like to start it.
A good way to start it, but this is a long 2-week road trip where, you know, we're going to see these guys a couple times on this trip.
The 2-2 pitch to Langford. Strikeout number 9 for Olivares. Midwest Sports Reports comes your way at 10. Rob King, what's coming up?
Thanks, guys. Tonight in the Midwest Sports Report, immediately following the game, we'll catch up on Rick Ankiel's start in Oklahoma City tonight. Plus the Blues in a 2-0 hole will go behind enemy lines. You'll hear from the Avalanche. Now let's go back to PNC Stadium and rejoin Dan and Adam.
Well, Rob will also hear from Kevin Slate. He'll be sounding off on the sound off section on Fox Sports Net. I cannot wait for that.
Oh, what's the King ranting about now?
Carpe diem. So you got the King, Rob King, and Ankiel. And here's Mike Matheny shooting one into left, and Giles puts it away. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Midwest Sports Report comes your way at 10 o'clock following this game here on Fox Sports Net. Looking forward to it. Very good program put together by the folks at Fox. Brent Stover and Jim Hayes and John Veneman, they do a great job. 3-2 game here in the 6th with 2 out and nobody on, and Hermanson at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI.
Omar's starting to get into that groove we warned you about. Hermanson does have the 3-2 lead.
Breaking ball, got him. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 10 in the game for Olivares. That man, he plays left field for the Pirates. Brian Giles will lead things off when we come back. Bottom of the 6th here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Dan McLaughlin, Al Raboski, 3-2 Redbirds. Today's advanced auto division standings look like this. The Cardinals at 21-15. Riding a 7-game win streak. Half game back are the Cubs after getting swept out of St. Louis. Houston and Milwaukee a game back. Cincinnati 4.5 out. And Pittsburgh, of course, tonight's opponent 8.5 games out. The NL Central, and the way that the league has shaped things up, Al, you're going to see all those teams so many times. It's a chance to either follow the race pretty quickly or get right back in it pretty quickly.
Well, that's the way it should be. You know, if you win your division, you should be crowned the champion. You know, you got to win the most games in your division. If you do that, you know, the Cardinals, when they won in '96, they absolutely dominated in the Central Division.
Right.
That's the reason they won.
This is the second of 5 series against the Pirates this season. Brian Giles to lead things off. We're in the 6th, and it's 3-2 Redbirds. But just joining us, Fernando Vina left this game. We still haven't gotten word. As he went to the hospital, he was hit on the ankle by a pitch from Olivares. He was down on the ground for about 5 minutes. They're calling it a deep bruise. And he went to the hospital for x-rays, and Giles is hit by the pitch, and he's got to make an attempt to get out of the way. That's what Mike Matheny is saying, but none doing. And Giles is hit by the pitch, an 0-2 pitch, and the leadoff man is aboard. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and is an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. He kind of just turned right into it, didn't he? Breaking in on him a little bit.
Well, I don't think any of us can ever criticize or be upset when we see Vina do it better than anybody.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point. Here's Kevin Young. He's had a fantastic play here tonight. Started a double play. Diving stop. And at the plate, grounded twice to Polanco to end a couple of innings. Giles has 2 stolen bases, and he is at first. He's off and running, and the pitch is fouled back. Pirates have been aggressive against Mike Matheny, and they're the hit and run.
Absolutely, but they must have it on their scout report to have a very slow time for the plate from Dustin Hermanson. Most of the time, Mike Matheny, his presence being back there, shuts down all running games. And they have already stole 2 out of 3 bases here tonight.
1 ball, 1 strike on the Pirates. First baseman Kevin Young. Runner is not going, and that's shot through the hole left side, and that's a base hit. So Hermanson has his work cut out for him here in the 6th. A 1-1 pitch. Base hit for Young. He's 1 for 3. 2 men aboard, and Enrico Wilson will step in. Hermanson pitching here in the 6th has struck out 2 and walked 1. He's hit a man, and that's Giles to start this inning.
He really hasn't had as good a stuff as we've seen of late, but he still has the lead, but it's in jeopardy. We are getting towards the end of the order where you should be able to dominate, though.
Now that Cardinal bullpen is up and getting loose and stretched. Pirates have some action in their bullpen as well. Wilson tonight is grounded to short and grounded out to second. He's 0 for 2. It's Mike Timlin warming up for the Cardinals.
Dan, now that you've gotten ahead with strike 1, you can take a chance of elevating the ball. 2 things would happen. If he swings away, it produces a ball in the air, which should be an out. And if he tries to bunt it, that's very tough to get down.
Up and in.
You want a guy a little bit uneasy standing there. Too many times today, pitchers, they just let the guy drop the bunt down, and in this case, you advance both men, you're in jeopardy of losing your lead. So make it difficult to put that ball in play. You might be able to get a double play, but you should be able to get the one out, but keep them. You can do it very easily and keep them from advancing.
Kevin Young is at first. Giles represents the tying run. He's at second. 3-2 St. Louis here in the sixth, and nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Enrique Wilson. Gets the bunt down, but foul.
For a guy that's batting under 200, you have to be able to do the little things. You look how he does it. It's not bad form except for one thing. The bat's in foul territory. And that was really pretty much out there tailor-made. So now you can go up the ladder on him.
The 1-2 swing and a miss. He got a big strikeout there. Out number 1 in the inning. The third of the night for Hermanson.
Go up there, tie him up, lock him up, send him up there to give himself up to advance the runners. He doesn't do the job, and more importantly, you kind of punctuate it with the third strikeout of the night. Mow your net. This is where you talk about an emotional pitcher, but keeping the emotions in check when he's in a jam.
Emil Brown will step in. Brown tonight singled and scored back in the second. He singled in the fourth. He's 2 for 2 against Hermanson. It's first and second now with 1 out, 1 ball and no strikes.
Late insertion in the lineup because Derek Bell had a sore neck and he's 2 for 2. But I mean, this is somebody that is not supposed to beat you. And if you want to win this game, Dustin's going to have to reach back.
ERA by inning for Hermanson.
That looks impressive.
Yes, it does. And he's logged a lot of innings.
He's been showing you that, give you that 6 or 7 innings consistently and only allow 2 runs.
3-0. Emil Brown is 26 years of age. Came up with the Pirates back in '97. He's been up and down every year. There's a strike. Spent the majority of the season with Nashville AAA a year ago. Was used as a pinch hitter at the end of the season an awful lot. Hermanson delivers. Ripped foul and into the seats.
Got the count full now. Tony, Dave Duncan looking on. Got Timlin in the bullpen, but if you're the pitcher and you want the win, you've got to take and dominate against this low part of the order.
3-2 pitch, runners off with it, and it's a ball. So Hermanson has walked the bases loaded. And Dave Duncan's going to come on out and talk it over with his right-hander, Dustin Hermanson, bases loaded, and Pat Mears will step in.
Well, they've been very aggressive here today, and with the 3-2 pitch, even though it's 1 out, they decide to send the runners and he walked. I don't like a 3-2 or 3-1 pitch inside where you're forced to throw a strike, because that's where you get hurt with a long ball or a ball hit hard. And Dustin, didn't throw it in the middle. He pitched in off the plate but he ended up getting the walk.
That's his second walk he has handed out. Hermanson has his work cut out for him now with 1 out in the 6th inning, a 1-run Redbird lead, and now the bases are loaded, and Pat Mears will step in. Giles is at third. Young, the first baseman, is at second. And Emil Brown stands at first. Bases loaded for Pat Mears, who has a triple tonight. 1 grand slam in his career. He also hit the ball very hard to J.D. Drew his last time up. This one, he pops to the right side. Coming on is Drew. He'll make the play. The throw to the plate. A 2-hopper to Mike Matheny. Not that strong of a throw, but it didn't matter because Giles is left at third. Now 2 down with the bases loaded.
And JD's got to learn that, you know, to get the ball back in quickly, but to throw it, use his arm instead of throwing a 3-hopper that could get a by. Really catch a break. Pop the ball up, and now he's trying to get his momentum behind him, but he throws the ball, but when he throw it there and you get those 3 hops, that's tough on a catcher, especially when you can throw it there all the way in the air with the throwing arm that he possesses.
Yeah, he's got a good throwing arm, and plus that was so shallow. A 1-hopper right at the chest. Bases loaded. Abraham Nunez steps in and looks at his strike. So this is big if Dustin can get out of the inning.
I almost think that you get out of the inning and you get Omar out of there, it works to our advantage.
Yeah, he has struck out 10. Quickly 0-2.
Now be smart. Nunez, the 306 batter from the left side, 200 right-handed, overall 292, 293, and he is 2 for 9 while pinch hitting from the left side.
167 this season as a pinch hitter, and that's going to drop even further. 2 strikeouts in the inning. The Pirates had the bases loaded and just 1 out. They get nobody in. The top of the order due up for St. Louis. Eight hits aside, 1 error aside. Top of the 7th we go. And the Cardinals lead it by the score of 3-2. Hey, Cardinal fans, on Sunday, June 3rd, when the Redbirds play the Reds, it's Coca-Cola Walmart bobblehead night at Busch Stadium. The first 30,000 fans with a paid admission receive a collector's bobblehead doll. Jim Edmonds highlighting his 2000 Rawlings Gold Glove Award. Compliments of Walmart and Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the St. Louis Cardinals. That'll be Sunday, June 3rd, when the Cardinals tangle with the Reds. Tom Mee and Doug Stanton, Lindsey Polite, Kent Samuel, just having a whale of a time here at PNC Park. And why not? The Cardinals lead it by a run. Josias Manzanillo has come into this game for the Pirates to take over for Omar Olivares, who struck out 10 in his 6 innings of work. How about that, Tom Mee and Mr. Samuel? There's something else out.
Oh, they sure are. They give us these wonderful pitchers, and Manzanillo always had a good arm. He had a brother that was left-handed, pitched in the big leagues for the Pirates also. And let's see. But boy, he can't be any better than Omar Olivares was. He is on the losing, or the short end of a 3-2 Cardinal lead, Olivares, but he went 6 innings, so all 3 runs were earned, 8 hits allowed, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, hit a batter, and gave up the 1 home run to Luis Pujols. Albert Pujols.
Craig Paquette will lead things off for the Redbirds. Paquette was inserted into this game as a pinch runner for Veen. He was hit by a pitch and taken out. It hit his ankle, his left ankle. He was taken to the hospital. We still haven't had word as to whether or not it's just a deep bruise or maybe a broken bone, but that was a precautionary measure. Paquette skies this one into left center. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Paquette around first, and he'll trot into second. Stand-up double, and the Cardinals' leadoff men in just about every inning have gotten aboard, with the exception of, I believe, 2, and I'll take a closer look at that. But
yes,
Paquette leads it off with a double here in the 7th.
In the 4th, Paquette struck out, and in the 6th, strike out to Langford. But here, the 2nd plate appearance for Craig, and he plugs the gap out in left center, goes all the way to the wall. You kind of said coast into second base. You know, he saw that he couldn't really go any further And there is a Cardinal rule: you don't make the first out of an inning at third base.
Here is Polanco, perfect man in this spot. Gets down the bunt. Covering is the second baseman Mears, and there's one out. Placido does his job. Just the little things that he does. He's made a couple of nice plays and balls that you would figure are average ground balls for major leaguers, but they kind of came up on him. He made some good plays, and there's the good job on the bunt.
Boy, you see how good he does. Look at this, is a high pitch. It's not easy to get on top of it, but perfectly, knees bent, barrel higher, comes up there, lets the ball hit the bat, and then he drops it back into his hands to deaden it. Hit it right back to the pitcher, but he deadened it well enough to where you still could advance the man. So now with Jim Edmonds up,
chance for him to atone for what has been a very tough night at the plate with 3 strikeouts, but that was against Omar Olivares.
And I gotta believe that one of the things Kendall said is they're waiting for a left-hander to get ready in the bullpen. They have 3 of them, so why not use one of them in this situation? But I think one of the things they're going to say is, you know, you don't have to really throw a strike, and you don't want Edmonds to beat you.
Manzanillo will do his best John Rocker. He's to the dugout. We'll see a left-hander come into this game for the Pirates. It'll be Sauerbeck who will come into this game for the Pirates. He'll take over for Manzanillo. Scott Sauerbeck, who tossed a scoreless 8th at Milwaukee on Sunday. That was his last action. Well, the Cardinals have a chance to add to their lead. Edmonds at the plate, a man at third, less than 2 down, and a 3-2 Redbird lead. Well, the Redbirds and Tony La Russa trying to make it 8 straight. Good chance to add to their lead here with Edmonds at the plate and a 3-2 Redbird lead. Don't forget Midwest Sports Report coming up after the game right here on Fox Sports Net. 3-2. Cardinals have the lead. Scott Sauerbeck will enter this game, the left-hander. They have 3, as Al mentioned, in their bullpen. So Sauerbeck gets the call, and Edmonds, Pujols, and Drew all due up. 1 out here in the 7th. 3-2 Redbirds.
Sauerbeck has really struggled, and he's struck out more than an inning, but almost given up a hit an inning and way too many walks. But the best thing about him is he has retired 18 of the first 20 men he's faced. That is a key stat for a reliever.
Edmonds has struck out 3 times. The infield is drawn in. Pujols awaits on deck. Outfield pretty much straight away. Edmonds lifts this one into left. That is trouble. Giles going back over his head. Edmonds on the first pitch he sees hits a double. An RBI double. And for Jim, RBI number 27 on the year, and it's 4-2 Redbirds.
Boy, it's been a struggle for Jimmy tonight. Struck out the first 3 times. This time Sauerbeck, and he is their #1 left-hander. He throws the first pitch out there, and Jim Edmonds looked like he's waiting for it. Jim is one of the most intelligent hitters you'll find, and he has one of the best abilities of picking up pitches in a pitcher's hand. You know, sometimes they'll fit it around with their grip in the glove, and he can usually pick it up pretty well.
How about the respect here for Albert Pujols? Base open. This makes sense. Pujols is 3 for 3 with a pair of base hits and a home run. He came in hitting .370. Have a note here that says happy birthday to Jackson T. Lingle. Out in North County, picked up a brand new dog for his birthday, it says, and a big Cardinal fan out in North County. And Pujols has had a big day. Let's take us back to the first, Al.
Well, here's he gets a base hit and the first time up. Then he gets his home run. It is his 14th home run and 43rd RBI of the year, the 5th inning. Now he slices one into right field. So twice to left, once to right, and now the biggest respect. Intentional pass.
To get to J.D. Drew, lefty against lefty. Again, happy birthday to Jackson T. Lingle.
Got a dog, huh?
Yeah, brand new dog. Big breaking ball, and J.D. swung through it. J.D. Drew, Al, has gotten much better at adjusting on the breaking ball, and in particular, the change. Taking the ball the other way. Hitting .310 with 14 homers and 29 RBIs. first and second here. One out.
JD still a little vulnerable to certain left-handers. The sweeping left-hander with off-speed pitches and significantly keep the ball away from him. He has hit 3 home runs against lefties this year, 3 of his 14. And he like pitching, like hit. You know, for a left-hander to have success against a left-hander, he has to keep that front shoulder in. Can't let it fly open. As a pitcher, in order to throw strikes, you can't let that front shoulder fly open either.
Sauer back and JD Drew here. JD lays off that pitch, evens the count. Talk about not opening up that front shoulder, Al, and that's why we see him a lot of times now go the opposite way, staying with the pitch, and he wasn't doing that in the early portion of this season.
Well, he gets sometimes he gets so pull conscious that, you know, the bat drags through the zone to the opposite field, but now he can drive it that way a little better.
It went away, and that time it was inside, and Drew strikes out. And that is out number 2. Let's take a look at our perfect delivery of the game, and it's brought to you by our good friends at Pizza Hut. The Pizza Hut perfect delivery of the game, and this is Polanco getting down to sacrifice to move a man over.
Just a consummate professional and team player. He'll do those little things that help win a ball game. May not show up in statistics unless you're really looking, but he knows how to play the game and play it right.
Bobby Bonilla right on that pitch and fouls it back. We have seen Bonilla tonight just miss a couple of pitches, Al. This time he's hitting from the right side, but we have seen him hit it a mile high twice. He's also walked, so he's popped out a couple of times.
Well, you're going to find him right now where he does his most damage. 370 against left-handed pitching.
284 career home runs. That is 5th active for Bobby Bowe.
Cheer going up. You have to think the Penguins just scored.
Yep, they have to make it 4-2 midway through the 3rd.
Well, we've got a 4-2 lead, so they got to keep pace.
That's right. Fans screaming, "Let's go Pens!" Two balls and a strike with 2 outs. That evens the count. Bonilla didn't like the call. Tony Randazzo behind the plate.
See why these fans have been booing. All the damage he's done. 340 average against the Pirates.
Ray Langford awaits on deck if Bonilla can extend the inning. Fouls that away.
I think when people boo somebody like Bobby, it's more of a form of recognition. It's not directed in a malice way. It's just they know him. They feel like, you know, well, he should always be a Pirate or something. There's no animosity, and in some ways it's a left-handed compliment.
16 years now in the big leagues for Bobby Bowe.
Time is called.
30,883.
Cool night. Supposed to go down to 48 this evening.
Course,
and rain all day.
The Penguins on TV.
Penguins on TV. That's
view. Bobby Bowe may have lost this one, and there's some insurance. You want it, you got it. Bonilla delivers a 3-run home run against his former team. His 3rd home run, now 9 RBIs. And the woes continue for Lloyd McClendon.
Everything he does, every time he tries to make the right move, it backfires on him. And Bobby Bowe, this is why he was acquired. Fastball up out over the plate. He can turn on those. 3-run home run. It's his 3rd of the year, 2nd from the right side. And he just kind of pads this lead, making it 7-2. Close ball game, and now all of a sudden, this is where the Cardinals are so dangerous. because they'll get this second-tier pitching and they'll just beat up on it.
Yeah. Al had said that Bonilla was right on a couple of pitches and just missed a couple in his previous at-bats, and there he gets the home run, and that was a bomb.
Nice going, Danny.
Yeah, I like to see the way that Bobby Bo can do it off the bench.
You know, and that's what's so important. You know, when you're playing a club like the Pirates, they're really down. You know, they've taken some tough blows to the team with their pitching staff. Well, you get ahead of them, and you can make them just, you know, not give up, but they know they lose their fight.
Langford doubles with 2 outs. A stand-up double. So that's the 3rd double in this inning. We've seen a home run. And Matheny will step to the plate. He's the 8th man to come to the plate in this inning. Let's go now to our Pennzoil protection of the game. Protection under the toughest conditions. Pennzoil, and this is Bobby Bonilla delivering. And he knew it. 3-run home run.
He knew it. And remember, Sauerbeck was one of the reasons why they felt like they could trade Jason Christensen. This is the guy that they wanted, and you can tell by where he's pitching in that high ERA, which has been added to in this game. He is not throwing or making the location that they thought he would.
Mike Matheny taps that foul, no balls and 2 strikes. And you think about the ups and downs of a game, Al, and I go back to last inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. Hermanson gets out of it.
Tommy Sant, been around a long time. He was with Jim Leland and all those great years here. And of course, Lloyd McClendon was playing at that time.
A little tapper left side. This may do it. And it does. But the Cardinals get 4 hits, 3 doubles, and a 3-run home run off the bat of Bobby Bo. 7-2 Redbirds. 12 hits on the night for the Redbirds, and a big one delivered off the bat of number 24, Bobby Bonilla. His 3rd home run in a Redbird uniform and a 3-run home run. 7-2 Redbirds. Well, weeknights it's totally NASCAR. Only here on Fox Sports Net. Your exclusive all-access Garage Pass with 30 minutes of NASCAR news and highlights, plus the latest developments on what's gearing up for that week's race. Totally NASCAR, weeknights at 6. Only here on Fox Sports Net. Well, now Dustin Hermanson goes back to the mound, has some insurance in the form of a 5-run lead, and the Cardinals have outscored opponents. Look at that, 64-19. The beginning of their 7-game win streak, and looks like they're on their way to number 8 here tonight.
But remember what you said back there in the 6th inning when bases were loaded, 1 out, and Dustin Hermanson bowed his neck. He got a pop up and right, and then he struck out of Nunez, the pinch hitter. A little bit of emotion afterwards. Not trying to channel that emotion and use it in a positive way, but that was a big out, and then his teammates come back and reward him with 4 more.
The top of the order for the Pirates here is Kendall, and he looks at a strike. 7-2 Redbirds. Leadoff man here in the bottom of the 7th for the Pirates. Kendall is singled, hit into a fielder's choice and line to second. 1 for 3. He's in the hole here, 0-2. Cardinals do have some action in their bullpen. Hermanson, his pitch count is getting up there. It's at 102, so you would figure they might shut him down if he can get through this inning.
Well, absolutely. This will be his final inning of work. You just want to make sure he completes it.
It leads off, by the way, next inning, and this is a fly ball on an 0-2 pitch into right center. J.D. Drew puts it away for out number 1. So the leadoff man retired, and Vanderwall will step in.
Get that, you know, just the opposite for the most part. Jason's been retiring that first man, or he's given up a few, you know, leadoff men, let them get on base or something like this, but they've been under control.
First pitch to John Vanderwall is a strike from Dustin Hermanson. Fouled away, and it's 0-2. He got Kendall 0-2, and now Vanderwall is 0-2. with Aramis Ramirez. So waiting on deck. Happy 30th birthday to Matt O'Grady.
He's in attack mode. He sniffs that win.
0-2 pitch, hit 2, Paquette, there's 2 down. So again, a happy birthday to Matt O'Grady, who turns 30 here today. And let's take a look at Fox Sports Net pitch by pitch on that last at bat. Hermanson and Vanderwall. It went pretty quickly. It was just 3 pitches as Hermanson got ahead 0-2, and then Vanderwall grounded out to second.
Well, let's go back to Vanderwall's at bat. The first one is going to be, looks like a breaking ball, then another one, change up, and then he kind of jams him in and gets the ground ball to second base. So off speed away, and then in, and he gets the ground ball to second.
And here he is ahead of Ramirez, and again he goes 0-2. This is the kind of inning you wanted to see, a quick one by Dustin.
Absolutely, and his work would be well done. It would be what, 5 straight games where he goes 6 or 7 innings and only allows 2 runs in each one.
And he gets the strikeout. Dustin Hermanson with his 5th strikeout of the night. A 1-2-3 inning. He gets Kendall to fly to right. The ground ball off the bat of Vanderwall and ends it with a strikeout of Ramirez. 7-2 Redbirds. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 30 years of freedom. 30 years, one mission, low fares. And by Advanced Auto. The best part is our people. Advanced Auto Parts. There's a look at downtown Pittsburgh, the Steel City.
Pretty view.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to have to show you tomorrow during the day that Renaissance Hotel that's coming right in your picture right there. You know, it's a 95-year-old hotel that they just renovated, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
Dustin Hermanson is through for the night. He's in line for the victory. Outstanding job by Dustin.
Yeah, Kerry Robinson's going to pinch hit. Dustin 7 innings, 2 runs, both earned, 8 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a hit batter.
Robinson slaps it left side, and he can fly. He'll make this close. He is safe. Boy, he can move. Base hit for Kerry Robinson.
Nice going, Kerry. I really enjoyed watching him, and
yes,
want to see a little more of him, but not because of someone's injury. Gets the ball out there and then takes off run, puts the head down, and just goes for the finish line, and no contest. You're a middle infielder, you can't, or an infielder, you can't hesitate with Kerry running.
Kerry came up to me on the plane. He said, you know, you're going to be surprised, but my favorite sport is hockey. So what do you think of the Blues?
He played hockey.
That's right, he did. He's a very good hockey player. Of course, he played baseball at Southeast Missouri State. New pitcher for the Pirates is Jose Silva.
Boy, he's been roughed up of late. Look at that high ERA. They have scored in 4 straight and 8 of the last 10 outings against him. Of those 28 hits, he's allowed 6 home runs in 22 and plus innings.
Robinson is at first in a 7-2 Redbird lead. Paquette breaks the bat. This is going to be trouble. Giles on the run. That ball gets down. Robinson around second. He will score.
Look at that.
And it's a double for Paquette. His second double of the night. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. That makes it an 8-2 Cardinal lead. And I don't know if you were watching, Al, but after that ball got down, Kerry Robinson was flying, and I mean flying around the base paths.
In great tradition of Cardinal speedsters, you know, Kerry looked great. Off-speed pitch out away from him, right off the end of the bat. Giles gives chase, gets by him, and that just ensured. Now, hopefully we'll get a chance to, well, you'll see the trajectory of the fly, but watch Kerry Robinson. He was at second base right then, and there is no way that they could do anything. Boy, we're going to have to get our stopwatch on Kerry. Get a little glimpse of him flying around the bases.
That is
maybe
moving,
he's on
man.
skates.
I was thinking, how fast is this guy on ice? Here's Polanco, who's done a lot of the little things here tonight. Cardinals lead it now by 6 runs. They have 14 hits. They have left 7 on. They've made an error.
Cardinals came in with a 283 batting average, and they're adding to that.
After we see Polanco do something here, we get a chance to watch Robinson run the base pass. Shoots it right side. Good play there by Kevin Young.
Well, there's an unselfish one more at bat for Polanco. Nobody out, gets the man over. Let's take a look at the speed of this. He's got to check and see where it is. So he's not running, he's just halfway. Now he'll turn it on. Look at the way. Just absolutely the way he's running that. Run the bases perfectly. Never looking down to step on the bag. He knows where it is.
11 seconds, according to our producer Tom Mee, from the crack of the bat for Robinson to score.
And that's with him
pausing.
You know, just going halfway and waiting until the ball got down.
With one out, here is Jim Edmonds. Talked about Polanco doing the little things, and that was a perfect example, his last at bat there.
Absolutely, and give Jimmy a perfect opportunity to get another RBI. Cardinals another run.
Next to Edmonds. He takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. I know Jim and many of the Cardinals were watching the Blues game last night. Wanted to wish the Blues good luck in game number 3 tomorrow. Edmonds.
There it is.
Hits it into left. Giles is there. Oh, okay. A good strong throw. And Paquette elected to stay at third.
Well, you know, you got Pujols there, so it's not a one-man show. It is 2 outs right now. And Giles, you know, as long as you come up accurate and quickly get rid of the ball. I think if the game was much closer and you needed that run, they would have been more than happy to challenge that throw.
RBI opportunity for Albert Pujols. He's been on base 4 times. Shatters the bat. And that's the first time he has been retired. Silva gets him, so Pujols leaves a man. The Cardinals have left 8 on the night, but they get more insurance. They lead it 8-2. Redbirds. Jason Kendall and the Pirates have struggled all season long, and those struggles continue here tonight. On the field, they're invincible, but off the field, they are all too human. Fox Sports takes a look at the athletes you thought you knew. This week, it's Roy Jones Jr. He was raised by his father to become the greatest fighter of his era. But his greatness came with a price. Find out about it. Roy Jones Jr. this week on Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8, only here on Fox Sports Net. Mike Timlin, the right-hander, who has been very effective from the start of spring, will come into this game and take over for Dustin Hermanson.
Mike appearing for the 18th time, 1-1 record, ERA at 2.18, 1 save. He's given up a few more hits than he liked, but a very good strikeout-to-walk ratio, and he is becoming a very consistent setup man after a long career as a closer. Over 100, I think about 112 saves in his career. Right now, just one of those guys down the bullpen with no egos.
Cardinals have 14 hits on the night. Pujols is homered for the Redbirds, and that is his 14th home run of the season. He now has 43 RBIs. He's 3 for 4. And by the way, if you're just joining us in this game, Fernando Vini was hit by a pitch. Anxious to find out about the x-rays on Vini's ankle. He was taken to a hospital after being hit on his left ankle for a precautionary measure. Also anxious to hear about Ricky Ankiel. Made his first start at AAA Memphis. He did that at Oklahoma City. Brian Giles, the cleanup man for the Pirates, to lead it off here in the bottom half of the 8th. Over 30,000 in attendance here in Pittsburgh at PNC Park, and our first look at it here tonight. Don't forget, we'll come your way at 5:30 tomorrow night in game 2 of this 3-game set. Giles shoots it down the left field line and gone. Home run off of Timlin the opposite way. The first pitch he saw, Giles took it deep. His 8th home run, his 17th RBI, and that makes it an 8-3 Cardinal lead.
last Wednesday, he retired Giles, Mike Timlin, pop up to short when Timlin was absolutely brilliant. In two innings, he allowed no base runners and struck out 4. But here the first man touches him. And not a bad pitch, down and away, and just slices it. Just show you how strong he is. Slice it right over that left field wall, top 2 rows deep.
Here is Kevin Young.
Once again, we'll take a look at this ball, the fly ball into left field. You know, it was hit pretty well, but kind of surprising that it went out.
No balls, 2 strikes. With Dave Duncan looking on. Giles a leadoff home run off of Timlin here in the 8th. And the 0-2 to Young. Just got a piece. Now, one thing that really defined the Cardinals, their run to a division title last season, was how well their bench played and the combinations that Tony La Russa was able to use because of Dunston and Davis. And here we see tonight Paquette off the bench filling in for Vania. We got Bonilla playing, Polanco moving to short. Makes all the difference in the world if you can rely on those guys to come off the bench and not just be stopgaps, but guys that can contribute, and that's what they've got.
Well, you can't have 12 pitchers on your staff if you're going to not have interchangeable parts. And the Cardinals have guys that can play several different positions and very reliable at all.
0-2 from Timlin, up and in, and a ball. 1-2.
Pretty good pitch right there.
Well, he tied him up.
Also, radar gun here has been quite amusing. That one was 96, but we've had pitches in the 40s.
38 was one of them.
Yeah.
Strikeout for Timlin, his first of the inning, and out number 1. Also wanted to mention that Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan have made the decision to throw Mike Matthews on Friday night. That would have been the spot in the rotation for Ricky Ankiel in Philadelphia, so Matthews makes the start. And more than likely, but not set in stone, Alan Bennis will be called up. But also Carnuth is there, and Bud Smith is an option as well. But looks like Alan Bennis is going to get the call up.
Last one was Mike Matthews, and I'm anxious to see that start. He's earned it.
Yes, he has. He's been maybe the most impressive guy out of the bullpen this season, not 2 down. After the ground out by Enrique Wilson. And it's up to Emil Brown with 2 out and nobody on here in the 8th.
You win this first game, and you got, what, is it Kyle tomorrow and then Morris?
Kyle and Morris.
Wow.
Both are 5-2.
That's a handful. So the key is to win this one tonight and then go to banging tomorrow.
Yep.
Also, you like the way Timlin can't do anything about the first pitch. Jason Schmidt, who came off the disabled list right after the Cardinals or the Pirates left St. Louis. He won that game with 5 2/3 shutout innings.
Broken bat hit to short. Polanco on the run. Boy, how good is he at short? No drop off from Renteria to Polanco, to say the least. Giles, though, off of Timlin, makes it 8-3. Redbirds as we move to the 9th, and the Cardinals are trying to make it 8 in a row here tonight. Let's turn to our play of the game. It's brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste, it won't fill you up, it never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Bobby Bowe providing the insurance and our Bud Light play of the game. And Al, that was his 3rd home run in a Redbird uniform. It happened in the 7th and a 3-run shot.
Absolutely, and Bobby Bowe get a pitch that's up, a fastball, and he really believes that nobody can throw a fastball by him consistently. And at times his timing on the off-speed pitches may be a little bit down, but he likes that challenge.
J.D. Drew to lead things off for the Redbirds here in the 9th. Drew, Bonilla, and Langford. Last inning, the Cardinals picked up another double. The inning before, they had 3 doubles and a new pitcher in for the Pirates. Mike Williams, he pitched a 1-2-3 ninth inning to pick up his 6th save Friday night in Milwaukee. He retired all 4 batters he faced on Saturday.
Yeah, he's the closer for these Pirates, but not getting much closing time.
Al, I know you throw batting practice an awful lot, and the ball just jumps off of Bonilla's bat, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does. You know, he keeps on trying to kill me, though. You know, keeps on wanting me to throw change-ups and forkballs and breaking balls to him. Every time I do it, the old guy, I keep on pulling a hamstring. He starts the left one, then the right one. You know, but that's fun for me. We'll go in the cage, and they go, nobody can throw a fastball minus. So throw me off-speed stuff. And it helps when I'm throwing about 45 feet. Yeah, he's just a fun guy to be around.
1-2 on Drew, and he strikes out. 3rd time J.D. Drew is struck out tonight. And that'll bring in Bonilla. He will hit from the left side. Home run was from the right side. Bobby tonight is fly to left. He's walked it into a double play. 3-run home run. He's 1 for 3, hitting just under 300.
.285 home runs now for the switch hitter. I'm sure that's still good for 5th place. And the all-time pinch hit, or the all-time switch hit home run list.
Quickly goes to 2 balls and no strikes on 38-year-old Bobby Bonilla. Pulled the string there, fooled him. 2-1.
Bobby originally signed with the Pirates as a non-drafted free agent in '81. Selected by the White Sox the Rule 5 draft in '85. And then traded to Pittsburgh in exchange for pitcher Jose De Leon in '86.
Spent 6 seasons here in Pittsburgh. 4 with the Mets. 2 with Baltimore. 2 with Florida, part of their World Championship team in '97. Was also with LA for a while. And back with the Mets. Atlanta last season. Now with the Cardinals.
He's a great everyday player, and you know, and took him a while to adjust to being that part-time player, and now he accepts that role very well.
Just missed there. You never know what you're going to find in a media guide. And looking here, I see that he was named co-MVP after hitting a home run in the 1995 MTV Rock and Jock softball game. Way to go, Bobby Bonilla.
He got to go on the Letterman following the '97 World Series.
We're talking Rock and Jock, Al. I'm not talking about.
Oh, okay. Not
stinking
David
World
Letterman.
Series here.
Not Letterman show, huh?
No.
You're just talking the Rock and Jock.
Yeah.
Received the Thurman Munson Award and the Gary Carter Award during the '94-95 off season, both awarded for humanitarian concerns in the community.
Full count on Bonilla. Good at bat there. He took a couple of tough pitches and draws the walk with 1 out. And the 9th.
Williams got a pretty good split finger pitch, and so you know, you see it at a certain level, and if it's up, you swing at it, and if it's a thigh high, you leave it alone and it'll sink down.
You would have been perfect for the Rock and Jock softball game, I'm telling you. Absolutely perfect, Al.
Think so?
Oh, yeah. Langford has had a good career against Williams, and he takes a strike.
Because that ball falling down where Ray likes it.
Pittsburgh Penguins have held on for a 4-2 victory, and they have now evened up their series in this crowd of 30,000, at least the crowd that has stuck around applauding that. Now with your knowledge of Nelly.
I got a hug from Nelly.
St. Louis rap star.
Hey, he was fun. He was a very pleasant young man. He represents St. Louis well. And I got criticized for not doing all the things that my daughters wanted me to. You know, get this, get that.
Pictures,
tell
autographs.
them we're big fans. You know, I was just awestruck when I met Nelly.
Awestruck, huh?
Awestruck, you know.
Mike Matheny is struck out, singled, fly to left, and grounded to third. 1 for 4 on the night. Hitting .220 with a pair of home runs and 10 RBIs. Bonilla's at first. 5-run Cardinal lead and a strike taken by Matheny. Doug Stanton has done a great job on graphics tonight, as always. Lindsey Polite, Tom Mee, and Kent Samuel, and our great crew here in Pittsburgh. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I guess right now we're going to have to wait for the Midwest Sports Report to find out about Rick Ankiel and his outing for Memphis at Oklahoma City. That'll be falling right after the game.
Rob King is standing by at the sports desk. Matheny pops it up. And backing up is Pat Mears. To shallow right. He's called off by Vanderwall, and he puts it away for out number 3. So Timlin, we presume, will go back to the mound and try to finish this one off. We head to the bottom of the ninth. 8-3 St. Louis. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net was brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. PNC Park in Pittsburgh, and now good news concerning Fernando Vina, as we see the lefty and former Pirate Jason Christensen into this game. Vina, apparently those x-rays came up negative, so that is fantastic news. And Ricky Ankiel apparently was wild in his outing for Memphis.
Yeah, I think we'll just save that for Rob and Rob.
Yeah.
They can give that on the Midwest Sports Report.
Yeah. We're going to look at Christensen in his 7th season. Played for the Pirates, was traded by Pittsburgh a year ago to the Cardinals, and he'll enter this game. The lefty.
Talking with Lloyd McClendon, the manager of the Pirates, and he actually played with Christensen. Said, you know, I really like him. He's got a great power arm. The biggest problem was just keeping him healthy. And of course, we saw him have some surgeries coming back. This will be his 3rd appearance in that. It's a good time for him to maybe get a full inning of work and throwing a couple, you know, not 1+ inning in his 2 previous outings. So 5-run lead, just kind of find that strike zone and get a little bit of work, because he's going to be a big part, especially if Matthews is going to be in the rotation for a while.
I was about to say, there's a couple of negatives to seeing Matthews make a start on Friday. Number 1, Rick Ankiel isn't making that start. Number 2, having the option of 3 left-handers in the bullpen. You take that away, but you still have Klein and Christensen.
Yeah, you have, but I think Tony was just salivating, thinking about getting Christensen back when he was getting such good work from Klein and Matthews, that to have a 3rd guy, because so often there'd be a time maybe in the 6th or 7th inning where if you bring in one of these big horses and they do the job there, it may not show up in the box score, but the game was on the line there in the 6th inning. And you could almost say that with Hermanson in the 6th inning when he got the final out of the inning with the bases loaded.
Good play by Polanco on the run. The line drive off the bat of Pat Mears, and there's 1 out here in the 9th.
Well, he just must get such good jumps on the ball, because he's always where the ball ends up. Spears that line drive, and well, that's big. That's a big play. You can retire that first man, and you just never know what a hit right here would lead to. Here's Osick, who was just activated right before the game.
And they sent out Warren Morris to AAA Nashville, so to make room for Osick, Morris was put down in the minors. So Osick will step in. Remember last year, Al, he pitched. Remember that against the Cardinals?
Yeah, I remember that. You know, he's backup catcher. You know, and Craig Wilson has done such a good job. A little jam shot, and there's Polanco.
And 2 down.
So Craig Wilson, who is a backup catcher, they're carrying 3 catchers now because Wilson's got a little thunder in his back.
Think about a year ago this time, and having the option of Christensen, Klein, and Mike Matthews. It was Mike Moeller a year ago, and not to take anything away from him, but he's not any of those 3 right now.
No. You know, Moeller was kind of in the fashion of, you know, a good guy and everything like that, gave it everything he had, but just a little bit less stuff than what you'd like. And, you know, he was more inclined to retire right-handed batters than he is left-handed.
Want to remind you once again, Midwest Sports Report, Rob King, Rob Nicoleski. They are standing by. An update on Rick Ankiel and his progress. Made a start tonight. Of course, we'll have the highlights of this game. A report from PNC Park. Blues, game number 3 of their best of 7 with Colorado. They'll have a preview of that. Kevin Slayton will be on the program, so that's all coming up after the final out here in Pittsburgh. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jason Kendo, who is 1 for 4 on the night.
Cincinnati's lost tonight to Arizona 5-1. That helps.
Two balls and a strike.
Houston and Chicago are in the bottom of the 7th in a 1-run game. Houston 6, Cubbies 5.